Hello, welcome to Laura's Painted Minis. I'm Laura, and we are here with a big oak tree. Um, got like 3 of them. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get to it. Got these 3 colors that I've used to make some mixes. For the leaves, we're gonna go just stereotypical green leaves, since that will be the most there is a word I'm trying to think of. Be the most useful in various things. And I did decide, if you cannot tell, to just go ahead and glue all of the branches in. All of these branches are separate pieces, but there's plenty of room to get your brush in. You really don't need to like get super detailed on the underneath side, because those would be in shadow anyway. And I mean, if you're not painting for a competition, it doesn't matter. People are not gonna notice, probably. Kind of looks like maybe I need to check in on my stream elements bot, because usually that says, puts a little message in the chat that I've gone live, but I do not see that. I've seen people paint these trees like in a lot of different colors, specifically the leaves. I think I saw someone even paint it kind of like a cherry blossom tree, which the way they're sculpted definitely could work that way. Technically, they're labeled as oak trees. Which some oak trees do look like this. How was everyone's weekend? I was busy working on a mini for a friend. Well, friend as well as she's a player in my D&D campaign. I think I had started actually painted it on stream last Thursday. So you can go and check that out. I started off kind of different than what I normally would do. Because I normally would just like pick something to start with. Like quite often it's the skin. Just because that's usually the like kind of innermost. Like if I don't do the skin, then quite often I'm going to be, if I work on it later, then I'll mess up something that's around it. So quite often I do the skin first and then like get it fully base coated, layered up, glazed, highlighted, all the stuff. And then I go into another section, maybe it's leathers, etc. This time I kind of just blocked in pretty much all of the colors on that mini, just to kind of, one, I was trying to test out an idea for how I would do a basic paint level job, what I would call like a basic paint level, because I have for prices on any commissions, I've got 2 different levels for each kind of like size of like general sizes of minis. So basic and then advanced. Advanced being basically quite often what you see me do on stream quite a bit. Just using all the different stuff that I know, painting it to like as high as the standards as I can. I often am doing that, I would say. Although there are definitely some minis that I will push myself on more than others. I'm definitely doing that for my entry into the Reaper 90-day contest. Really trying to push myself on that one. But it also falls under the, one of those minis that I saw it and I was like, I really like that. I would really enjoy painting that. So I've been enjoying pushing myself on it. Got just the basing left to do on that. But there's still plenty of time to get it finished. The main reason I'd want to get it finished sooner than later is actually so I can devote more time to the stuff I need, or well, stuff I want to get painted up for my next session of D&D. That's also quite a ways off, though. Let's see. Like middle of June, I think, is what we landed on. I think I should probably double check. Because I think we tentatively talked about the beginning of June, so that would be a lot less time if that's the case. Although I am using them, those first couple sessions, for one shots. this fall for my church's weekend of one shots. So I still plan to get the trees painted up. It just means that if we are meeting, if we did end up saying beginning of June, it just means I probably won't have these fully finished, or at the very least, I won't have some other things fully finished. Not for the session of my campaign. Okay, I need to get some more ancient oak. Speaking of that, I kind of need to feel like I maybe need to bug the planning team, so to speak, again, so that we can actually get that on the schedule. Because we have info now from about availability and even which sessions they would want to actually DM for, volunteer for the fall, for this year's. So we just need to get that up, get rooms reserved. I could do it myself, but we have more people helping, and it would be nice if they actually did help, not just kind of say they were gonna help and join the Discord. But I'm gonna be trying to be patient and let others step up and do that. And not just end up doing everything myself. I mean, I could do that, but then you're gonna for sure be something that's just gonna fall through the cracks. Like that happened with our first try of the winter. Just one day of one shots. And that one, it just, I don't know if we could have really avoided it being kind of slightly on me, mostly on me. We just didn't have much of a team. There's just myself and one other person, but he's a teacher, so he has like no time during the school year to be putting in an event together, really. So we do have people interested, and so it's just a matter of them getting them able to be on Discord, and because that's what we've been using. And getting them to actually remember to check Discord, maybe? I don't know if that's part of the problem. We'll find out. It's only been like a week since we got the stuff back from the GMs, so I could probably stand to be a little more patient. It's kind of one of those things about like planning events is I just want to get stuff done. I want to know for sure like that, things are moving. But if I'm not doing everything, that means like I can't know that any of that for sure. Oh, well, it'll all come together. Worst case scenario, like we wait too long to try and reserve rooms at our church, and it's already booked by other people because our church is getting big, and so there's lots of people who sometimes want to use the different rooms. Okay. I haven't fully decided on what to do with how to paint these. I've got different mixes of greens all ready to go. These are the different mixes. It's just ancient green would what I've been putting on. And then like 50-50 ancient green and brilliant green, and then this is about a drop of, actually, I think it might be 50-50 brilliant green, jade green. I forget if I went 50-50 or like mostly jade green. It kind of needs stirring up again already. Okay. There is enough bumps. I'm kind of wondering about just maybe doing dry brushing versus what I would normally do. Doesn't want to. There. Just kind of do some experiments, I guess, of different ideas. This one will be like kind of the usual layering up thin layers, like what I often do on regular miniatures. And then get out a dry brush. Got this. The label is now gone, but and I do not have those super close at hand. They're from, I think it's Chronicle RPG, I think was the company's name. They did a Kickstarter of a few years back, 3 years back now, something like that. A whole set of different sized dry brushes. And so the other idea I have is dry brushing, like, but still in layers. We'll see, there is a decent amount of texture that'll work, and that is where dry brushing really shines. I know a lot of miniatures just use dry brushing for a quick and easy highlight on any surface, but it's really meant for textured surfaces, like there's actual bumps to catch. And we're gonna go back and forth. So there's one layer, and go back over here. I'm gonna do the regular. It's mostly dry, so we'll go ahead and just gonna like try and kind of pull out some of the details here. And I skipped straight to the brilliant green on the dry brush. That's what I started with, because it doesn't make sense to do all of the colors. Now I'm just going to bring in that final color that I have mixed up with the jade green. Slightly. So you can see it compared to the leaves that are just base coated. That it does stand out some. Let's see how this does. Do it this way. See if it stays focused on that. One thing that's nice about doing it this way is I can like sit here and I unloaded my brush more, I can sit here and kind of pull out some super specific strands. So I think what I might do is actually mix the two. And also not even make mixes per se, but just put ancient oak, brilliant green, and then jade green out in each separate palette. And well, I guess I don't need the ancient oak out anymore because I've got everything base coated in. Main reason that I guess I would still put it out is if in case that I lose the shadow color, like if I need to add shadows back in, then that would be good to have. So there we can kind of see the difference between the two. This is really pulling out some details a lot more, so I think it looks a lot better. But this definitely, dry brushing is definitely quicker. There's a reason that people use it, even though in cases that dry brushing doesn't shine. So yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and make a well of just jade green. Pretty much. Because I already essentially have a well that's just brilliant green, so it's really all I needed to change. So I'll do dry brush now, the rest of it with brilliant green, And then I'll come in with the jade green and do like what I did here, where I pull out some very specific places to highlight. And I think we'll get kind of the best of both worlds that way. I'll put that away for now. I'll bring out my, so you can see kind of what I mean by, in case you've never dry brushed. You dip your whatever brush you're using into the paint, and you're dabbing it off. You can wipe too if you want. Dabbing is gonna take less paint off, so it gives you a bit more time where if you start to notice, oh hey, I should probably stop, then you haven't accidentally taken off too much paint. Then you want to specifically pay attention to the way the textures are on here and move against it. Then it will catch those ridges. It is going to create that kind of an effect of like it's highlighting, because there's different levels in the sculpt. So not everything is getting painted here. I kind of check where just lightly dabbing and seeing how that looks. And that looks about right to me, so I'm gonna. I learned dry brushing painting ceramic figurines. Which is why I have a different understanding of dry brushing than well, what I see a lot of miniature painters doing or using it. And definitely don't use your nice brushes. If you can find a set that's like this, where it's actually just meant for dry brushing, I would encourage you to pick that up if you think that you will be doing a lot of dry brushing. Or just pick up some cheap, stiff paint brushes. too much paint off on that. Actually, yeah. Back the camera up a little bit. So here you can see, even from a distance, that you can kind of see like how there's more details coming out. Just because that's, you know, I was able to have more control and pull out some very specific details, giving it more texture, that leafy texture. Whereas just over here, just dry brushing like 2 different layers, you get some definition, even more so than here, where there's only the 1 layer. Actually, did I miss? I missed that one, actually. Here, compared to this, yeah. I'm gonna try and quick get that before I forget. That does not look like I got it. Or the light is playing tricks on me. All right. Now we'll do the jade green. And I'll probably still, after I throw my brush, I'll probably still go back over the one that I'd already did, because that was technically a mix of jade green and brilliant green, and also with a bigger brush, so I had too much paint on the brush to, so let's see. Get this to focus on here. This is where you want to get out your good brush, because it's going to get annoying pretty quick if you're using a not great brush. Trying to pull out these just lines of the leaves. So you really need to be able to have a good brush that'll keep its point. Assuming, of course, you've unloaded your brush enough. That's a good example of not unloading. It's okay. This is an area where there's a lot more leaves like overlapping each other now. I am planning on getting that Warthog Warrior up on eBay tonight. So you have not missed it if you were hoping to check it out. Or bid on it. Of course, if you go on my Patreon, I think it's the higher tier that I've put it as one of the perks, but whatever tier it is, I do check that to see if there's anyone who's joined up, because I will give first dibs to those patrons before I put it up on eBay. I'm hoping that by the time I'm done here on stream, that I should have a notification or something, or at least the tracking info should say that the package delivered. So I've got some, I had ordered stuff like female warrior bust from Reaper Miniatures. I think it has an actual name, but they don't have very many busts at the moment. I didn't think I would actually get into or be interested in painting a bust, but I really like that sculpt of it. Probably will take me a while to actually get it like fully painted, since I'm the painter in my own D&D group, painter and DM. And painting minis to sell. And occasionally participating in contests. I don't plan to do that too often. It just was, like I said, I saw the mini that was chosen and I really liked it. And it had been a while since I've done one of their contests. I haven't done the last few. And then I'll definitely, like, once the contest is over, it'll be a mini that I kind of put up and be like, okay, what's, one area I can grow in. Since it's a mini that I am really trying to push myself on. So it'll be a good mini to also then say, okay, what's something that I could focus on maybe for this next year. One thing I already have kind of on my like mindset of like I want to grow in is having a concept, some sort of a concept for specifically for like characters. Not, I mean, this is a tree. My concept is that it's going to be a green tree. You don't really need much else for that. But like, for characters, of something beyond like, oh, I'm using this for a player character so they're gonna be good, or I'm using this for a villain so they're gonna be evil. Try and get something a bit more solidified, because I think that will make it a lot easier when I run into minis where I'm like, when there's a good opportunity to do freehand, then I can have a good concept in mind of the character where it'll be easy to like know where to go with the freehand. I often just don't know where to even start. I mean, I also need more experience too. It's not like it's something that I would say I'm super great at. Doing textures like I'm doing now. This is kind of like my jam. I'll try and finish up this whole branch here, and then we'll call it done. We'll call the stream done. Tree's definitely not going to be done after that. There's still two more branches. But yeah, if you're interested in that, if you were interested in that warthog or just owning something of mine, check out the social links, especially the Facebook one. That's where it's easiest for me to post links. I'll probably try and put a little bit of a blurb or something on on the Instagram as well, just to kind of let people know. but the Facebook one will give you the quickest, easiest way to stay updated on that front as far as eBay postings go, because then you'll have the link right there with the post that you can click on right away. Probably be the first place that I post as well too. Instagram is really good for seeing what I'm up to in between streams. And then of course my YouTube, I have a paint along, that series that I do just for my YouTube. Just a weekly paint along video. Other than like base coating or finishing touches, I like touching up kind of finishing touches where I fix blurs and stuff. All the painting is done on camera for that mini. And I try to explain even better than I do even not here on stream. I try to explain in general on stream too what I'm doing or such. But with the Twitch stream, you're gonna have me kind of rambling on about different stuff that have nothing to do with, possibly have nothing to do with the mini being painted. Whereas with my paint along series, I really do keep it focused on just talking about what I'm painting. Sometimes I talk about like why I'm making a specific color choice. Or how I use metallic paints, or kind of like if I'm doing non-metallic metals, trying to best explain like what I'm actually doing. And those are shorter videos too than my streams. I try to keep them around like 20 minutes. So quite a bit shorter than the stream. Just only gonna do some of these leaves that are just kind of just starting to get underneath this top branch. Otherwise I'll kind of leave it, I guess. And that looks pretty natural. Zoom out a bit so you can see kind of how it's looking. So this one, and this branch are all done. I could probably do maybe a little bit more of a layer on this. I think I definitely got a little bit stronger on some areas than others. But yeah, there we are. There's 2 more trees to go, so this is probably what we'll be doing next Monday as well. Yeah. Then I still have to think about. I have a lot of minis that I want to try and get done for my next session, so I haven't really looked at my pile of opportunity to see maybe what next to do for a paint to sell. So I know I do still have like a couple piles of things that I had looked at a while ago. Some Kickstarters that I got in a while ago, and set aside some minis that I knew I wanted to paint to sell for various reasons. So just need to look through those. But that'll be it for today, and so I will see you Thursday, same time, 1:15 p.m. Central, and probably be working on, see, this mini is getting really close to being done. This is the mini I was talking about working on over the weekend. I need to do the fur and finish the eyes still, and then the base. So that is pretty much it for this one. So we'll see. This could be done already by the time Thursday, or maybe I'll finish it up. Otherwise, we'll work on this other mini. It's my husband's character for Draw Steel campaign that we're in. So, yep. So yeah, stay tuned Thursday for a character mini of some sort. All right, bye.